Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of Burn, Nick, and with me, as always...
Oh, it's Gator.
And we have a special guest on the show today.
Yes, we do.
We have Corey Frisbee.
Hey. The man, the myth, the legend.
Fresh from his recent excursion to Honduras. Now, I didn't hear about any international incidents, so I guess the trip went well.
Yeah, it was smooth.
Good.
He needed bail money. What are you talking about?
He did call me at one point, and I was unfortunately on the other line when he called and left me this voicemail talking about, dude, I'm in prison, and I only get one call, and you're not picking up, and yeah, it was the whole thing. So
I thought it was funny.
It was funny.
If you still have that saved, you should just put that into the cast.
I do have that somewhere, actually.
That should be inserted right here.
Just got arrested. Dude, and they want to talk to somebody right now, and they're only giving me one phone call. Damn it.
Anyway, so on today's show, since Corey was down at the Oscar Valladares farm and factory.
In honor of...
What?
We're going to smoke an Oscar.
We are. We're going to
in honor of.
We're going to have the Oscar 2012.
Why did that completely throw you off
I don't
the
know,
rails?
because I thought you were correcting me or something.
No, I said in honor of.
Anyway. So, no, we're going to...
Bishop, would I ever correct you?
Oh, Lord. Anyway. So, yeah, guys, you have no idea the trouble I'm in here with two of them now. I mean,
it's a thing now.
I'm sitting here with this is the...
Wait till we get you to Vegas.
This is going to be an interesting
it's
cast.
Easy.
Yeah, okay.
Wait till we get you to Vegas.
They've heard some stories about you and I at TPE already, so they know at least some of what kind of trouble I'm in right now.
We're just hanging out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are smoking the Oscar 2012 Corojo. This is
the orange band.
It is the orange band. It has a Honduran wrapper, a Nicaraguan binder, and filler made of Honduran and Nicaraguan tobacco.
Now, is this an infused cigar?
Well, that depends if you talk to a certain prostitute out in Vegas. She may or may not have been told that this cigar was THC infused in order to get her to try it, but, no.
Who would do that?
Corey and me. but no, there is no THC infusion. No. So anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and cut the cigar.
There's no cellophane. I'm really disappointed.
I was going to say, can I just bite the end off?
I expected nothing else from you. So
you know what?
Oh,
when in Rome.
When in Rome, Jeff's going to just go ahead and gnaw the end off his as well. So
how many times have you seen me do that in my life?
Plenty.
Yeah.
So, hey, look at that. 2 out of the 3 of us have a lighter. And then there's Jeff.
Yeah. There's some change. Does that help?
No, I was going to say, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
I'm the only one doing the cold retro. That's a thing now, Corey.
I just light them on fire. Sorry.
What are you getting, Jeff?
Cigar.
Sure the hell ain't smoke.
I know, right?
I knew a girl once that could smoke start a cigar, but...
Oh, my God. Anyway.
What would be really good is if we had something to sip on.
Oh, and we do. We do.
Guys, you have no idea the trouble I'm in here. So
this is going to be a thing.
Corey did bring something, and I'm going to let him explain what this is, because the lounge has been chattering about this all day today. We are sitting out in front of the world-famous St. Louis Landmark Hill Cigar Company.
Hey, you need to turn around.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Billy. Our friend Marvin flashed us.
Marvin was rubbing his nipple up on the window there.
It's a thing.
He wants Corey to go and rub his head later, so,
That's a thing.
Wait, who's rubbing whose and which one?
Whatever.
Anyway.
We won't get into that. So this bottle, there's a bottle here, and it's written on it, Corey's Revenge, white rye, 160 proof, 80% alcohol by volume. Folks, this stuff is clear.
It ate the cork.
It ate the cork. I'm looking in my glass right now, and this stuff is clear.
It's smooth.
Oh, it smells like rubbing alcohol.
Here you go, Nick.
Oh, my God. Folks, I'm going to be drunk by the end of this cast. I can guarantee it.
Here's the way you do it.
Oh, my God. He just shot the whole thing.
Look at that action. I'm all in.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Smooth.
Oh my God, is that good?
See?
Oh, that's good.
Bottoms up.
Oh no, don't do that. Oh, Nick just shot it.
Oh my God.
Smooth.
It
right?
is smooth, but
That's a good burn.
oh, it's got the burn. Wow.
I saved a little bit of mine. I'm gonna sip some too.
Oh my God. I'm
That's
a solid
good.
10 degrees warmer right now. Chest feels a little like
Where would someone
Fire.
get something?
What are all these swallowing sounds I'm hearing right now?
it's probably me digesting that, to be honest.
That's
Anyway.
good.
Oh
That's
my
really
gosh.
Yeah, it is. He knows what he's doing.
good. Okay. Now, where would someone get something like that, or is that the record sealed?
You know someone.
You know a guy.
I know a guy.
Corey knows a guy.
I have a guy.
Corey knows a guy. Well, anyway.
We just emptied that bottle.
Well, no, the guys in the back got it pretty low, and we just killed it is what
That's
happened.
true.
Which is probably for the best, because if there was refills of that, I'm definitely going to be on my ass before this is all said and done.
You're gonna be a little loopy by the end of the cast after what you just did.
Whew. I'll tell you, it was
I think
less
he's
than
sweating.
It was less than I thought it was going to be. Like when I looked at the glass, it seemed like more than what it was.
I'm pretty sure he's sweating.
Probably.
I think you are sweating.
No, I'm not.
You're awful.
He's very flush.
Definitely flush.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't take much now, does it, Corey?
This is true. This is very true.
He had a lot of fun trying to get me to blush out in Las Vegas with the.
It was so easy.
Yeah, it was.
My
Well,
God, that's good.
It all started with we're sitting there, and I said, "Oh, a working girl just sat down beside you," and he said, "Uh-uh," and I said, "Yes, she did," and he looks at her and he says, "Uh-uh," and so I lean up and wink at her, and she was right in with us.
Right in there. And it just devolved from there.
That's as it should be.
Yeah.
Boy, that is good. That is Grandpa's old cough medicine right there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it'll cure what ails you.
I can imagine. And probably give you other things to ail you later, but. I don't know. Strong was. What was Strong
telling you.
saying about being up at like 2 a.m. or something?
This stuff is better than CBD.
Well, now you got Jeff's attention.
You do.
So.
I'm all in for the shine.
Anyway. So, before we get into this, what are you getting on the cigar?
Dude, I hate to say it, I can't really taste anything anymore.
You know, the sad part is I just took a draw, and I don't know if I can right now either.
I'm getting smoke.
No, it's smoking great.
Well, it's an Oscar. I mean, for the love of God, it's going to be a good cigar.
I agree. Smoked a lot of Oscars out.
There's
in
not a
Las
run in the
Vegas.
litter.
I get a little bit of spice out of it.
Yeah,
You know.
that's a Corojo. Yeah.
I would too if I had any taste buds left. Let me try to retro it. I'll see if I can get something there.
There you go. Yeah, your nasal cavities might still be good.
Oh, yeah. Try it. Give it a shot.
Oh, now I'm going to cough again.
He was right.
I was right. Yeah, there is spice. There is spice on the retro hail.
How do you do this with him?
Oh, I know, right?
What?
He coughs on the cold retro.
I do not. I don't even do your stupid cold retro. You're not getting anything. You think you are,
It
but you're
works.
not. It doesn't give you anything.
Have you ever tried a cold retro hail?
Gotta say, no, I haven't.
You got to give it a shot next time.
There's nothing to retro hail. There's no smoke.
No, what it is your olfactory sensors are picking up notes that your taste buds aren't. I've had backup. I've had people say that I'm right.
It's true, I guess.
It's the patented Gator Cold Retro.
All right. Well, anyway, so Corey just got back from Honduras, and he's been
Amazing trip.
he's been busy, all over the St. Louis area, hitting up some of his shops, his clients and stuff. But we wanted to get him on and talk a little bit
You
about
might want
the
to bring
trip.
people up to speed about what Corey actually does.
Corey is a cigar broker. Just to touch on that again.
I
So,
prefer to think people send me money for smoking cigars and drinking whiskey.
well, then
There are worse things in life.
I need to get money
this
sent
is
to
true.
me because I'm smoking cigars. Not so much every Friday I do the Friday whiskey
do?
bit. So
You're going to have to grow up a little bit there.
I don't disagree with that, dude.
Yeah, what were they saying in the back that you're going to need to wear boots with spurs to drink this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that and
Get a Ram with a Hemi or an
what was it?
F-150.
You know, after you have some of that, when you get home, your wife better not backtalk you. Yeah, yeah, it was a whole thing. So
I think just getting home is going to be the chore with this.
yeah, we'll be fine. So
Well, thank God the bottle's empty, or you wouldn't.
I know, right?
It was a small sip.
It was a small sip. It's still going to put me on my ass, but it was a small sip.
You're still a little flush, but
Yeah.
It
Anyway,
did some damage.
so it was a wonderful trip.
it was incredible.
So bring us up to speed. What brought the trip about, and what were you doing down there?
So the whole trip was for the salespeople. All of the brokers. Oscar wanted to take us down, show us the factory, the fields, even his coffee plantation, and just show us a good time. And so
That's a great incentive.
he has a new house there. He's beginning to do tours for customers, so a shop can schedule a tour and take up to 12 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and do it. Definitely do it.
Yeah.
It's worth doing. Get a hold of your local shop. Tell them you want to get a tour set up. The magic numbers, get 12 people. It's $480 plus your airfare.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't even know what airfare down to Honduras run.
You're about $650, $700 if you book it out a ways.
Okay, so you're looking a little over $1,000 to do the trip.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And I spent a whole $80 the whole time I was down there.
Yeah.
And I extended and stayed 3 extra days so I could work in the factory. But you know, the only reason I spent $80 was I tipped very, very heavy.
Okay.
That was the only thing I spent money on.
Oh, okay. So everything was included.
Food, everything's taken care of.
So you're
Now, will it be that way for the store tours as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless Nick goes.
what? I don't have any money. So all right. So walk us through this. So you live out in Kansas City. You flew down to where?
Well, I drove to St. Louis. Got on an airplane, flew to Houston.
Okay.
From Houston, I flew to San Diego. From there to Hawaii.
It doesn't seem like the most direct
I was
route.
going to say, seems like you had a lot of layovers there.
maybe I just flew to Houston
Okay.
and from Houston on down to Honduras.
Gotcha.
So, you know, it was like a little under 3 hours on each flight. So easy trip, and then it was about 3 hours getting down there. Now, I did have a little bit of I was sick.
Oh,
before I
no.
left. So
Was it the Corona?
I had been in bed with the flu for
Corona.
30.
We were out in Vegas, and there were a lot of people in masks
Yeah,
out
that's
in
true.
Vegas. So it's possible.
But
And some for their health.
right. But I had been down for 36 hours.
Ugh.
Oh, my God.
So I get on the airplane. I was just able to hold water down, and I headed for Honduras.
Wow.
It's dedication.
It
Now,
is.
one of our brokers went to Honduras wearing a mask.
Okay.
Dumbass. We get off the plane in Honduras. Who walks through customs easy?
The sick guy.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Who got checked for coronavirus?
The guy with the mask.
Dumbass.
Yeah. Well, you didn't mention it was a Scream mask that he was wearing. So.
Well, and the other thing is, who gets sick in Honduras? He comes back and gets hospitalized with a bacterial infection.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
God.
It was actually pretty serious. He's
Yeah.
okay now.
That's
But-
good.
But it was actually
I
pretty
mean, the
serious.
territory would be opened up, so you got to look at it different ways.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, but he also was maybe the guy that asked Oscar. He broke open one of the berries from the coffee beans, you know, and he had half of a coffee bean, and he goes up to Oscar and he says, "Is this what they make coffee out of?"
Oh, no.
Well, so immediately I said, "Is that the right half or the left half?" And he says, I don't know. And I said, well, they make coffee out of the right half. They make cold brew out of the left half.
That's awesome.
Oscar had to walk away.
I can imagine. Did he buy it?
Yeah. That was the problem.
Oh,
That's why Oscar had to walk away.
because he bought it.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Well, but prior to getting there, we're driving down the road, and he looks at me, and he says, is that a goat or a sheep? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, I get the two confused. So
Okay.
by the time we got to the top of the mountain, goats were sheep, sheep were goats, horses were cows, cows were horses. I was proud of
You
that.
basically Dwighted him from The Office, is what you did.
Oh,
That's awesome.
I
That's
was
awesome.
like, immediately, I'm game on.
That's awesome. So you get down there, and where did the trip go from there? So what did you see?
So we went and toured the coffee plantation. We went and toured the cigar factory.
Because to catch people up, I mean, you may have pointed out, Oscar does grow coffee.
Yes, yeah, a small amount.
Okay.
But yes, he does grow coffee.
Harvest season's about this time of year, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So coffee's in full harvest, and then you have a lot of tobacco that's everything from 6 inches tall to 6 feet tall that they're actually harvesting. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was very neat. And then, of course, we did our company meeting, and one of the things that I love about Oscar, his meetings are great. This guy gets up, and he looks around the room, and he says, thank you, guys. He has got to be one of the most humble guys I've ever met. He's just,
and Nick and I have got to meet him, and we just think the world of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just, and I've heard him get up before. One time he got up and he said, I want to thank all you guys, and sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just can't believe this is real. I mean,
That's cool.
yeah. So you love going to bat for a guy like that, and he's making amazing cigars, and
Yeah. That's how it's done, Jeff.
Byron, the
Hurtful.
the master blender, he and I have kind of struck up a really nice friendship.
Yeah.
I would say he's my brother in Honduras.
And you said his name's Byron?
Yes.
Yep.
And so I extended for a few days after the trip, and Byron took me under his wing, and I ran around with Byron for a few days.
Yeah. Now you worked legit worked in the factory and the production line.
Like
and everything, right?
I legit, they put me in the fermentation room, which smells like ammonia.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's stout. And we were breaking down pelons of tobacco and restacking them.
What is a pelon for the listeners out there?
So that's how they ferment the tobacco. So a pelon is just a stack of tobacco that's in the fermentation process.
Okay. Is it like a foot tall? Is it the size of a pallet? What are we looking at?
Yeah, you're looking about 3 pallets long, and about 4.5, 5 feet tall.
So essentially, it's its own compost pile.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's exactly it. And so what they do is they monitor the temperature. When the temperature of the center of the pelon gets to a certain temperature, then it's time to break it down and rotate those tobaccos. Mm-hmm. So you're rearranging the tobacco so that everything in the pelon ends up fermented the same.
Okay. So you're kind of
You're taking the outside to the middle and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top to
Which is exactly, I do a lot of organic gardening. It's the exact same way that I rotate a compost pile.
Yeah.
So I get that.
And it was pretty amazing. There's a very specific way you stack this tobacco in there, and they actually were able to teach me that. I was impressed that they were able to teach me.
Well, now let's back up a second. You've told me that the gentleman that you were working with, they didn't speak any English, correct?
Zero English.
Zero English.
And how much Spanish, or as Nick says, Latin do you speak?
Oh, Lord.
I know a couple of catchy phrases like, uno peso maricon prostituta, which would be what I would say. If I were talking to Nick, I might ask him that. No. But that's about the extent of it.
Fair enough.
I guess that's what he needs. So
Yeah.
anyway.
It's what gets you through.
So apparently what happened was when they took me up to the fermentation room, they just simply said, show this guy how to do this. He's going to work with you today. So these guys had no clue who I was.
Yeah.
Was the term gringo thrown around a lot?
No, I got Americano a little
Americano,
bit.
okay.
Because they're used to people coming through the factory and getting their picture taken, and they hold the tobacco up, and they pose for their pictures, and then they put it down and they leave, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually got in there. I mean, guys, these guys worked my ass off. I was hurting at the end of the day, but I, of course, didn't let them know that.
Well, yeah.
I kept
Powered
up with
through.
them. Yep, I kept up with them. So at the end of the day, I went down and got a guy out of the office who speaks very good English. And I took him up and I said, hey, you know, explain to these guys that I'm a cigar broker in the United States and I sell cigars. I swear you could have knocked them over with a feather.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm sure that they were being very, very gracious, but they told me that I did a really good job and learned quick, and, you know, they were really impressed with how quick I learned. So, gracious or not, that's my story. I'm going to stay with that.
There you go.
I would.
So is this like a 6-hour day, 8-hour day?
8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm up for that when we take the trip. So maybe an hour.
I was filthy dirty, you know. But see, like to shake out the tobacco, you're breaking down the pelons. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And they start you out with that. Here's the way you shake them out, and they kind of show you. And then you stack them, and you carry them over to the new pelon. And the guy's over there stacking the tobacco into the pelon. And there's a very specific way you pack this tobacco in. And, you know, the butt ends have to be stood up where, you know, there's about a 4-inch gap between the butt ends on the lower level to the next one, you know. And it's just a certain...
So it's leaves in, basically,
Yeah.
butts out. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a certain way that you do that to make it stand there, you know. And about halfway through the day, they nudged me and they basically pointing, you're going to do this. And I'm shaking my head no, and they're like shaking their head no and pointing, you're going to do this. So I learned it. And it was a very, very cool experience.
That's cool.
And those guys work so hard. And they're just very precise in the way they do things. And, I mean, it's kind of second nature to them now, but still they care,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and I heard a thing one time about how many hands actually touch your cigar before you light it up. And it's amazing
Yeah.
how many people are involved in the process.
Well, and like Oscar's tobacco gets sorted, I think, about 3 different times. And what he's sorting is the Viso Seco Ligero.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, well, why do you do that? And he said, well, because it's human hands and human eyes, and people make mistakes. And what we don't want when we take tobacco out to our roller is for them to have a Viso instead of a piece of Ligero when they're supposed to have Ligero.
Okay, being a novice, what's the difference?
Taste.
Okay.
So you're talking stock placement. You know,
Same plant, different
Yes.
different area on the height
Yeah.
of the stalk. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the Ligero is the top, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and each of them have kind of a different flavor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like that with plants that I grow, like kale and different things. The baby kale, the smaller leaves are going to have a different
Exactly.
taste than the aged leaves, so that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Same principle.
Okay.
So what else did you get to do down there?
Smoke cigars.
Well, I know, but like you worked.
Well, you
a
were
couple
smoking.
days
He was smoking a cigar while he was
while
working.
he was
I
working.
saw the picture.
I know, I saw that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they may have come up and shoved a cigar. You couldn't do that job and smoke a cigar. They came up and shoved a
It
cigar
looked
at
good.
me and took some pictures and then left again and left me up there working. So,
It looked good for the picture, though. I gotta
Right.
say.
Yeah.
Right.
So how many rollers that are? I saw like a video from
Mm-hmm.
the factory of a lady rolling a cigar. How many rollers and everything does he have up there?
I think he's running about 75.
Okay.
Right now,
Wow.
you know, I mean, it
So it's a huge economic impact to this town.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And in fact, one of the things that really impressed me, we're going through the factory, and there is one guy that cuts all of the bands that are made with tobacco paper. And that's his job all day long. He cuts these bands out.
And there are bands made with tobacco paper.
The leaf by
The
Oscar
leaf, okay.
cigars. The Alter Q has them.
I was not aware of that.
And
I knew it was more of a paper, not like a slick paper like the regular bands,
yeah.
the foil or whatever. But no, I did not realize those were tobacco paper.
So
that's awesome.
It's tobacco paper that is made. It's made off-site, but it's made by 3 guys there in Honduras that make all of this tobacco paper. And we toured the facility where they do that.
Well, that's cool.
That is neat.
But this one guy, I asked him. I said, "Why don't you get a stamp and you could just stamp those out?" And he said, "Well, then that guy wouldn't have a job."
Wow.
So
It's a completely different attitude than maybe
Yeah.
here in the States.
I was going to say, definitely.
much more interested in making sure that the fellow Hondurans are employed and taken care of, and they feel that as a responsibility that they're having some success. The responsibility is to make sure that they're taking care of these other people there.
And we've heard that from other manufacturers as well, giving back and buying up acreage and planting trees and things like that. So it's really neat to me that these guys are really worried about their home country and taking care of it.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. He even farms with oxen still.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
if he bought a tractor, he'd have to lay all these guys off.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
I saw there was at least one picture of a dinner that you had. So, and that looked amazing.
So, was it the picture of the whole fish?
No, it was the picture of like some tacos or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was our company dinner.
Okay.
They were absolutely amazing. But the best meal I had was Byron took me to his hometown, which I think is roughly maybe 1,500 people.
Okay.
And his mother cooked lunch for us. And she cooked a whole tilapia.
Really?
Oh, my God, it was so good. It was so good. And Byron looked at me, and Byron's he's a lot like me. We have a lot of similar stories from growing up because he's a country guy.
Yeah.
And he says, "You've eaten fish with whole fish, right?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." And he said, "So you know bones?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, no problem, Man, I'm pulling this thing apart and sucking the meat off the bones. It was so good. It was awesome.
That's great.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So you were talking about how next year or this year retailers are able to, get some folks down there?
Starting now.
Okay.
And basically, you get a group that wants to go. We get a date secured for you. You send in your money for it, which, of course, secures the date, and then you're off to the races.
Is there a window of time that folks can do that? Like, I mean, you're not going down in, like, July. I mean, there's...
I actually think you can.
Oh, okay.
So, if you wanted to, you could go in it would be more of an off season, but you would still see, so much stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
really cool.
That is neat.
We could ride shotgun for Oscar. There's a whole story there, too, but probably can't go into that on the cast.
Well, I mean...
The great thing is, if something really serious happened, you could kick Nick out. And
it's true.
And it would slow down.
Wait a minute.
I don't have to be the fastest. I just get to be faster than Nick.
Wait a minute.
That's all you have to do.
Well, now, okay, so now that we're on that subject, I know some people might have some trepidation going down to, South America, going down to Honduras and everything. Like, safety-wise, I mean, everything was good?
Yeah, no issues.
Yeah.
Straight through the airport, no problem. The people in the airport know Oscar.
Okay.
One of the things when I got to customs, they said, "Are you here for business or pleasure?" And I said, "Business." And what are you doing? And I said, "I'm touring the OV factory." And they're like, "Oh, okay." Signed off and sent me right in.
That's awesome.
So, that is good.
Yeah.
Well, that speaks a lot to what he's doing in his hometown there.
Oh, yeah.
And for the community in general. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Well, let me ask, we'll take a quick break here and ask, what are you guys getting on your sticks?
The spice is still there. This is a really, it's a good creamy cigar. It's very smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, the smoke just kind of comes right off of it.
That's one of the
It's
things
really
that
great.
I find with all of the Oscar cigars is the creaminess that they have.
Yeah.
I've never, to date, I haven't found a bad Oscar cigar.
So I think a lot of that.
Nick just set his keyboard on fire.
I did just
Nice.
ash all over the place there, yeah.
I think a lot of that is the Honduran tobaccos. And, for a long time, people didn't like Honduran tobaccos. But they say Honduran tobacco just takes a little more time. So in the fermentation process and those kinds of things, they ferment it just a little longer. Just like on the Superfly. When you taste that, it doesn't taste like a San Andreas wrapper.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that heavy spice and bite that just, kicks you in the mouth. It's more like a Pennsylvania broadleaf. But it's because they ferment it just a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, I sat down today, my first cigar of the day, because it was so nice here in Southern Illinois. And my first cigar of the day, I actually sat out on the deck and took a picture, put it on the Instagram, the Naked Gator page.
You did.
But it was the Island Gym. And I've never had an Island Gym before. And, the Oscar track record sticks because it was just a wonderful cigar.
Yep, they are. Not a bad one in the bunch.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of the Leaf. I mean, that's my go-to. The Leaf Connecticut is my go-to cigar. But I haven't found a Oscar cigar that I don't just enjoy.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. So
Yeah.
I think you're in the same boat, aren't you, Nick?
I am. Like I said, I smoked a lot of Oscar cigars out in Las Vegas. That's partially because I was hanging out with Corey and he was handing them out like it was going out of style.
Well, you were also hanging out with Oscar and he'd have kicked your butt if you were smoking something else.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude,
so
everybody out there would have kicked my butt if I were smoking something else.
but that's one of the things, like you get out at these trade shows and stuff, and some people get these little jealousies going back and forth, and I've never had an issue. I walk into Oscar's booth smoking Southern Draw cigars. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Oh, hey, that's a good cigar,"
Yeah.
He's not that way.
Yeah.
He
I tried one out in Vegas that Alvaro gave me. It was that barber pole.
Uh-huh.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Now, what was that again? That was Maduro.
Maduro and a Candela.
Candela barber pole.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, my Candela's not typically my favorite.
Oh, I hate Candela, but I like that barber pole.
Yeah, that was a good
It's got
stick.
a great balance.
Yeah.
We're going to be smoking one of those coming up for St. Patrick's Day.
That's true. We have the filthy hooligan on deck for St. Patrick's Day. So that and some Irish car bombs.
Oh, man, that is not a good idea.
No.
I'd rather drink this. I'd rather just sit and drink a bottle of this.
I could send you some stuff to use for the...
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Uh-oh. That's going to be 160 proof
American car bombs.
Oh, God.
Before we drank this, and I have a little bit left, I was actually wondering if it would if we could set it on fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet this would ignite.
Yeah.
You can set it on fire in an ashtray, and it will burn long enough that you can light your cigar, Nick can light his, and I can light mine.
I kind of want to try that.
Yeah, I can see the wheels turning.
I was going to say, he's thinking about it. Oh, God. Well, dude, don't do it, actually on the ashtray there.
It won't hurt it.
Oh, my
Holy
God.
crap, it lit up.
Yep, that is.
Yeah, we're going to need
burning.
That is still burning.
It's going to go out before I get my camera going.
No, it won't.
Wow. Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll throw that up on the socials, folks.
Yeah, this stuff is definitely flammable. So,
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
now dying now.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll ignite.
Well, very cool. So, any kind of special news or tidbits or anything from Oscar that you want to throw out and share?
About new cigars and things like that?
Whatever's
yeah,
interesting that you want to.
There's a ton of stuff, but I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay.
We'll just have to wait.
Well,
when does the new stuff come out? Are we talking the July show?
Yeah, we'll have a couple of new SKUs at the July show. We do have currently at the TPE he released the Superfly Connecticut. So that'll be coming.
it's a little Corona size.
I will be all in for
and
that.
it's the same binder and filler, but it's just got the Connecticut wrapper.
I'm a big Connecticut fan.
And the other sizes will be coming behind it.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
I
Okay.
may have seen a few of those at the factory. There may or may not be a cigar coming that is called the Trumpet.
Okay.
So
May or may not.
May. So you're familiar with the Woody.
Oh, yeah, the giant.
Oh, Nick knows all about the Woody.
Damn it.
Okay.
Oscar has a
except this one's a big one.
okay. So Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh Lord. These guys are high-fiving on that now.
Stick in the mud. That's all I gotta say.
So Oscar has this cigar that's what, about 2 feet, give or take,
2.5.
2.5 feet long, and yeah, I saw a picture of him showing it off in the factory there.
Yeah.
So
the
Braggart.
trumpet is a cone-shaped cigar, barber pole, and similar size.
oh jeez.
Good God.
And it will come in its own case that is much like a trumpet case.
So what? Okay, now that we're on the subject of these, what does he do with these giant cigars?
He sells them.
Okay. But well, obviously. But I mean, is he making like a ton of them, or is it just like one per retailer? I mean, is it like more of a novelty kind of thing? I mean,
they're obviously more of a novelty.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll give
You're fine.
Delicia a plug here because she never plugs us and never comes on the show. Delicia, we'd love to have you. But you and I watched repeatedly her smoke that horse's leg cigar that she
I
lit
don't
up.
even remember what that one was, but that was a gigantic
So
smoke.
most of her videos,
Horse's leg.
it was the size of a horse's leg. It was,
It was really big, dude.
yeah,
Because
essentially.
I probably would have used a different analogy for the horse.
I'm trying to keep it tame. We have kids that listen to the Cigar Pulpit, for the love of God.
I don't know if
So-
kids are listening to us.
Well, my daughter does. So anyway,
That's not good.
Anyway,
she loves coming on and telling jokes.
it's like a piece of horse anatomy.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, Delicia busts this thing out, lights it up. Now, most of her videos at the time, and I don't know where they're at, but I'm going to use a number. Most of her videos had, say, 2,000 views. This one had like
It was obscene.
35,000.
Yeah,
I
it was-
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to watch her smoke this giant cigar, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yes. And at one point, she talked about fisting it. It was a whole thing. Go watch the video. I'm not making it up.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It was a thing.
And he's talking to me about kids listening.
I know, right?
I'm not gonna let Addie listen to this one.
Yeah.
And she's talking about fisting it.
Yeah. She actually says that in the video.
Now, what's funny is actually we did get a question related to fisting.
Well, wait a minute. It's time for Ask the Boys.
I was going to say.
It's a good segue.
In our regular Tuesday segment.
We not only have 2 boys now, we have 3 boys
I know,
to ask.
and this is going to get interesting. So this is our regular Tuesday segment, Ask the Boys. So Ask the Boys is our regular Tuesday segment where listeners can send in questions about anything. So it doesn't have to be cigar related. It can be literally about anything at all that they can think of.
I give great
And
advice.
we see exactly. And it's one of those things where we answer whether we know the answer or not. So I'll go ahead. Since we did tease the one, I will go ahead and start with that one. So listener Final Third Cigar, as he goes by on Instagram, wants to know, how long did it take Gator to get the McDonald's smell out after fisting Grimace?
So, Corey, you were out of country, so you may not have heard this. We were trying to light our cigars one night, and Nick's lighter was out of butane. And, of course, I didn't have one, so I can't really say much.
So we had to vent the lighter, and all I had in my bag was some pens. And I had this multi-pack of pens that included this one purple pen. And so Jeff uses that pen and, gets it down. And
The pen exploded. All over
purple
me.
ink all over his hand.
As they often do.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd never seen that before. It was a new one for me.
So I noticed this purple ink all over his hand, just smeared all over his hand, and I pointed out that it looked like he just got done fisting Grimace.
Hey, when Grimace wants you to come at him, you pleasure Grimace.
I mean, giant purple gumdrop guy. So anyway, so how long did it take for you to get the McDonald's smell off after the...
It wasn't necessarily the smell, but it really did look...
You always smell like McDonald's.
It's true. It really did look like I had grabbed the bait money out of the bank heist, and it exploded on me.
Nice.
And it took about 3 days for it to come off. I didn't explain it to anyone either. I'm sure they were really, is that a bruise? No, it's
What
Grimace.
happened to you?
It's Grimace poo.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of purple, we received a question from the Purple Lady 8, and she wants to know what your favorite cigar and bourbon pairing is. Now, as not much of a drinker, I don't really have a favorite pairing.
How about you, Corey? That'd be a
Per
good
se.
question for you.
Oh, well, my favorite whiskey would have to be,
Corey's Revenge.
well, yeah.
See, here's my problem with that. I can't taste the cigar and still can't. That's my only problem with pairing that with the cigar. We should have smoked that. I wish I'd tried. Nick is just hell-bent on lighting himself on
This
fire
ash
tonight.
is- The ash is very loose. I'll give it
I've had
that.
no
I
issue
have
with
had-
that whatsoever.
I have had lots of drops.
Not one here.
But,
Corey
okay.
either.
But
right,
typically, I don't know that I really have a favorite pairing. I like a Corojo or a Maduro with a good rye whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I like my rye whiskey.
Good deal. I'll tell you, I really like this. This is really smooth. But again, I wish I had saved a little bit and I could actually smoke it like we do. I don't know if I have enough left to do that with.
I don't know. You just lit it on fire, so I don't know.
We
if
did
you have
light
enough
some on
to,
fire.
like, smoke it.
Well, there's
so.
a little in the bottle.
Yeah, there's a little bottle. I'm going to smoke this real quick and see if it changes up the flavor profile. Well, I'm killing that soldier.
I'll say there's this little bit there. That chunk of cork just floating in the bottle there.
It's stuck now. Yeah, this rye actually ate the cork. It's bizarre.
Well, it may have just broken off in there. But
We're going with ate it.
Yeah.
We're going with the fact that it ate it. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me.
So while he's doing that, Nick,
Yeah.
what soda pop do you like with your cigars?
Nick's a knee-high guy.
I'm an iced tea kind of guy.
He's our radar. I actually like coffee with cigars a lot.
I do too, definitely. And that is one thing I love to do, is smoke my liquor. Whatever I'm smoking, blow the smoke in the glass, let it set for a little bit.
It mellows it out. It makes a lot of flavors pop. Yeah.
Kind of pulls them together.
Yeah. Jeff likes doing it with all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I do.
You tried smoking your coffee one time, too.
I did try smoking my coffee.
Did
I
that-
don't remember.
I don't
I
remember
don't
if that
remember if it
worked or
changed
not.
up the profile.
You can't have that much in there.
It's got plenty of smoke.
He does have
Lots
plenty
of smoke.
smoke. It's because his glass is probably lit on fire a little
Quits
bit.
holding too.
Anyway, while Jeff is doing that, Ponzi 3297 wants to know, when smoking in a car,
Hey, oh wait, that's Fonzie.
it's Fonzie.
Sorry.
Ponzi's more like Bernie Madoff. So anyway, when smoking
You could
in
have
a,
said Bernie Sanders too. Anyway.
when smoking in a car, which is better, open sunroof, open windows, or both?
Open windows.
I think open windows just because it draws the smoke out.
Crack the sunroof, and you crack the window, and it'll draft right out.
There you go.
Just a crack on each.
See, my problem with the open sunroof is when I throw the cigar out, it lands in my back seat. Then I burn holes in it.
Well, don't throw it out the sunroof. Roll the window down if you're
Oh.
going to do that.
Or learn how to throw.
Also an option.
Okay, I'm giving this a shot.
Oh, my.
Okay, there wasn't a lot there. That really picked up the flavor of the smoke.
Yeah, it really does.
It really did. Do you have any left?
I'm done. No.
I was gonna say,
it,
you have to try that.
it probably would pick up a lot of the smoke because, it obviously has never touched a wood barrel before, so,
It's virgin whiskey.
Yeah.
It's going to take whatever you give it.
Like
So-
the easy girl at the frat party.
So speaking of coffee, listener, Curmudge Jim, kind of like a curmudgeon, only Curmudge Jim.
I like it.
See, he has a question for Gator. He
God.
says, what is the chemical in coffee, dark roast, that sometimes makes it smell like a cigar? He assumes that you may have experienced this.
No earthly idea. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Sulfur.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have any idea.
It's ammonia.
Is it ammonia?
It's ammonia.
Okay.
How do you know that? Corey
I don't
knows
know, I'm
everything.
making it up.
Oh, okay.
You just got to be confident, dude.
Corey
Just
knows
say
things.
it with authority.
I was really impressed.
You just got to pretend. Oh,
We should look that up. We'll try to look that up for the next episode.
we can look that up for next time.
We will.
So, listener, Barbells and Beers sent a number.
This is not the first question from them.
He has sent a number of questions. We'll probably get through a couple here and save a couple for next time, just
Okay.
because regular listener Craddock Dennis sent in a bunch, and then we also have some from Travis Seibert that sent in a bunch. So
Oh, cool.
we'll kind of save some of those back. But he wants to know, How many humidors do each of you have? What kind? And how many sticks in them at a given time?
Well, I'll take this, and then we'll let you go, and then Corey can finish, because obviously I think he's going to blow us all
Yeah,
away.
he kind of beats us.
I have one humidor that'll take about 35, 40 sticks. My ex-wife bought it for me. It was really, really a nice present for her to get me. You've seen it. It's really
I have
nice.
seen it.
And then Nick, on the other hand, has a whole setup. I smoke my cigars a lot quicker. I buy them and smoke them as I get them. Nick likes to get them and age them a little bit.
It's not that I necessarily like to age them a little bit. It just kind of started happening. So I bought one humidor that it said that it could hold up to 100 cigars, but I think that's 100 Robustos. And so I started putting in...
Cigarellos.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I started putting in slightly larger cigars than that. So that one probably can hold, I would say, somewhere about 60 to 70, like large, like Toros and Gordos and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right now, it's probably got about 50 sticks in it. In terms of what's in it, I know I have some Alter Q. I bought a box of Alter Q back when Oscar was here for an event in July of last year, and I maybe have smoked a couple of those, but the majority of that box is still sitting there. And so I realized that if I can just hold out until July, I can, taste test a 1 year aged versus a fresh one off the shelf kind of thing.
Nice.
And then I know there's some Ciceron Oscar cigars in there as well from that event. There's a couple other things. I think there's some CLE Connecticut's in there, a couple other things.
You've got to have some Perdomos.
Well, now, okay, so then we have the other two smaller humidors. Those are desktop humidors. They're about 25 count each. One of those, I keep my champagne Super Toros in that. And then I've got the other desktop one that kind of has some of the more flavored stuff. Like I keep the the Fat Bottom Betties in that because I do.
You want to keep them separate.
Exactly. I like the Fat Bottom Betties and I like the Tabacco Especials. Those are in terms of an infused cigar. I like those just to kind of break up the palate every once in a while. But then we're getting into the other stuff. So those are those three humidors. Then there's the giant Avo humidor that I won out at Kansas City that Corey was so gracious to truck back to me back in December.
Let me jump in here. So Corey, Nick tells me he wins this, and he's talking about we got to make a trip out there, and I'm like, Corey comes to St. Louis like twice a month, right? And he goes, "Oh,
it didn't even click." So Corey,
and you're the broker for that store too, so
well,
it made
sense.
sense.
Yeah, it's easy.
It made sense.
So anyway, I've got that humidor, what would you say? 250 sticks at least.
Oh, easy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a giant freaking box. And that's got a bunch in it. And I'll be honest, that has all sorts of different stuff in it because I have a lot of sticks from the Kansas City Cigars Festival there. That's where I've put a lot of the sticks that I brought back from TPE. I mean, that thing's just become like a catch-all of just all kinds of stuff.
Well, you've also got the plastic tub.
And then there's the Tupper door that I have. So that one, I used that when I was getting the Avo humidor all seasoned up. And that's even started collecting stuff in it now. So I've got a giant airtight, watertight tub that if you put a Boveda pack or something like that in there, it'll act just like a humidor. You don't get that kind of wood, that cedar taste or whatever off of it or smell off of it, but it keeps the cigars humidified, which that's all that matters.
Fine.
Yeah, exactly. So to answer the question, I guess technically there's 4 humidors and a giant Tupper door.
Yeah.
So
Corey, what do you got?
I use rigid toolboxes.
Okay.
Watertight, airtight.
Whatever works.
Throw the Boveda bags in them, and they work perfectly. And I've probably got 5 of them at any given time, and maybe 300 cigars each in them.
Apparently, they're starting their engines here for the race.
we have Fast and
It is
Furious.
Daytona today, so
That's true. So
we're recording on Sunday, just for everyone out there.
But you have to remember that I'm constantly giving away samples to cigar shops, so I'm carrying this stuff with me all the time. And,
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Being in the business and then also being a broker, we see the little gel things that you can get as opposed to the Boveda. or the little humidor, like the little sponge humidor kind of things that you can put in. What do you think is best?
So, in one of my companies, we have humidification stuff. You can't beat Boveda.
Yeah.
You just can't beat them. I'm sorry. It's the truth of it.
Well, I mean that's why I asked the question. That's what I use.
They never leak on your cigars. They always, you may find that your humidor's running low. Just add another one to it. It'll catch it up. You can't have too many in there because it just will stop humidifying.
When it gets to 72 or whatever, because the different packs have different ratings.
So I always use the method of overkill. I use the giant Bovedas, and I probably have 6 of them in each toolbox.
Okay.
Well, Nick knows if, in my life, if a stick will do, I'll use a 2x4. So I get that.
Yeah.
I am testing some HumiSmart packs that I did get out at TPE. Jury's still out on that right now, but I know that they are making a push, and they asked me to try some, so I am trying those out right now.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's nothing else out there that good. I just haven't personally used it.
Yeah. All
Next
right.
question.
Well, next question, we'll go on to our friend Dennis here. So he wants to know if you have a bunker, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick's been to it.
I have not been to your bunker. You won't give me the password to your bunker in case of emergency.
It's a secret knock, and you better know it. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying. You have been to my farm though and shot some of my armament.
I have, and there's plenty of armament out there. So
We blew a lot of shit up that day,
a
Corey.
lot of tannerite.
Yeah.
We had fun.
We had a good time.
So
We threw some claybirds too. I gotta
Few.
figure out. Okay, so I gotta figure out how to pack the claybirds with the tannerite. Now you got something. If you can throw an exploding target,
because that's what I want is a giant shard of clay pigeon rocketing back at me from the explosion.
Why don't you get one of those guns that shoots golf balls and pack those with tannerite?
holy crap! Ping pong balls full of tannerite. Nick, oh my God, Nick.
Can you hit a ping pong ball? I mean, I know I can't.
I can, but I don't want to brag. I'm actually a pretty good wing
shotgun?
shooter.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think a shotgun will set the tannerite off, though.
Oh, really?
Because we tried with a 22, and it will just pop the case. It's got to be a big enough round to, cause the...
So we broke out his AR in order to blow some craters into the ground.
All right, so
If that didn't work, I was getting out the 303 British.
If you're sending projectiles airborne and shooting at them with an AR, how many miles away is the nearest house?
Exactly.
I'm
Sadly,
just spitballing.
Sadly,
here, but-
too close to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be problematic.
Yeah.
It's
It's kind of like New Year's here in St. Louis.
I mean, it's one thing putting all the tannerite on the ground.
Rain and lead.
Right.
Yeah.
So he also wants to know, he said that he's read that there's oil production in southern Illinois. He wants to know if that's true.
There's actually a lot of oil production. It's over more, I think it would be, you would consider it centralized on the southeastern portion of the state. There are a lot of drilling companies and drilling supply companies when you get over into, say Mount Vernon and east, if you drive up and down Interstate 57, which runs from which runs from Chicago, down south, there will be a lot of billboards for drilling companies, drilling rigs, drill bits, all that kind of stuff all along Interstate 57.
My in-laws have a oil production rig on their farmland, actually. It
in
doesn't,
Clinton County?
Washington County.
Washington,
It
okay.
doesn't produce a lot of oil, but I mean, it's some.
But you're getting into it when you get over to that
Yeah,
far.
you are. So he
But
also
where the area I'm in, which is around Pinckneyville, Illinois, has traditionally been more of a coal-producing area.
Good clean coal.
It's okay. I think all coal is good, clean coal, but it would be considered high sulfur coal. Now, you know what the jacked up part of that is. Let me go off for a minute. And you know me, I'm the big environmentalist.
what did you do?
Yeah, now I'm triggered. So, you know me, I'm the big environmentalist. I grow a lot of my own organic vegetables. I use my own compost that I make for them. I don't use any chemical fertilizers. God forbid Roundup. We're poisoning the planet. Anyway, I'll shut up. So that being said, when you talk about coal, there are a lot of jobs that are created with coal in southern Illinois, and not as many as there used to be, but there still are a lot of micro mines that are there producing coal. when Baldwin Power Plant, and I'm talking out of my ass here, so if I get something wrong, don't sue me. But to my understanding, Baldwin Power Plant, when they didn't get a grant or a rate increase they wanted, and they were building a scrubber project at the time to scrub the sulfur out of the emissions. And they shut down their scrubber project. It's half built. It's sitting there next to the power plant. You can drive by and see it every day. When they shut that down, they started buying coal from western, states. And they bring it in by train, which, isn't that horrible. It's not like they're trucking it in with semis. But they're bringing the western coal in. But they also have to shred tires to burn with it to get it hot enough to actually run the plant.
Oh, wow.
And it makes no sense to me that, how is that environmentally friendly to do that?
I guess you got less emissions, but
I mean, it's a way, I guess, to get rid of the tires.
I was saying, you got to do something with the tires.
But again, we're pumping that into the atmosphere.
But I am a fan of coal.
Oh, yeah. Growing up as a kid in Southern Illinois, growing up around the coal mines was so cool because I was a big rock hound when I was a kid. I love fossil hunting. To this day, I love to just go out and dig through a pile of rocks and look for coronoid stems and blastoids and fern leaves. And, you could find all that stuff, especially the underground mines in Southern Illinois had the ferns. You get the little iron nodules, crack them open. I know I'm going way off the rails.
A little
Nick's
bit.
just staring at me. But that was one of the neat things about my childhood is back in the day, you could just go out and you could dig through the spoil piles. And now you can't get anywhere near them. Everybody's scared of getting sued. And, there's all these laws. The laws always get in the way.
Right.
But when I was a kid, you could go out and it was just like the Wild West. And I had such a good time, in my teens going out and finding shells and all these different things. I actually found a fossilized cockroach one time.
Oh, wow.
And I took it to SIU because I couldn't identify it. I had no idea what it was. I knew it was some kind of bug. And took it down there, and they begged me at the time to donate it to the university. And I said, well, I don't mind putting it on loan. I don't want to donate it. And they said, oh, well, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, I'm keeping my bug. So
Yeah.
I still have my fossilized bug at the farmhouse.
Well, okay.
But I digress.
So the final question from Dennis. He wants to know what our favorite breakfast food is and if we've ever had cheddar cheese on grits.
Oh, yeah. I love grits.
See, I'm not a grits fan.
I'm kind of a Southern boy at heart. I'm a Yankee, but I'm a Southern boy
Not
at
a
heart.
grits fan.
You look like you've been eating some.
I mean,
And now we're going there.
biscuits and gravy, guys. So anyway,
Something to stick to the ribs, as it were.
yeah,
I've never had cheese on grits.
the last time I had grits, I loaded it up with grape jelly.
And that's not bad. I'm not going to make fun of
Yeah.
you for that. I like honey on grits.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
Just butter.
Just a ton of butter.
Not a ton, just
a little
butter.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just too plain.
Try it with honey. Try it with honey sometime.
Honey,
it's
maple
delightful.
syrup.
Yep.
Yep.
Even
Now, maple
even,
syrup, I like to douse.
even sorghum.
Pour all
Molasses.
over my
Oh, yeah.
breakfast sausage. Maple syrup with the little breakfast sausage
You're
patties.
just a savage.
It shows.
Anyway. We didn't even make it to Denny's. We were supposed to go to Denny's that night, and then we started talking to
we
a
got
hooker.
time tonight.
And finally, we'll get to some questions from Travis Seibert.
Pancakes, hooker. Pancakes, hooker. Yeah.
He wants.
I'm trying to weigh out the options there.
So Travis asked a number of questions, but I'm just going to get to the one here. He said, if you could go anywhere on a cigar vacation, where would you go and who would you go with? Person you know or dream person?
The OV plant and not with Nick.
Well, now what the hell? That was really shitty.
Well, I think he just said he wants to have fun.
Oh, wait a minute. Again, it's kind of
Hurtful.
okay, hurtful. Yeah.
Hurtful.
Anyway,
Honestly, if I was going to take a dream vacation with you, Nick, it would probably be to Chicago next weekend.
we'll get to that in a minute. So,
Do you like what I did there? That's a
yeah,
segue.
it was a segue, not one that we're gonna.
Chimpanzee riding on a Segway. Chimpanzee
Lord.
ride. You should plug that in right here so people can.
I don't know if I can plug that in, but anyway,
Is that copyrighted?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. So anyway,
Look it up on YouTube, folks. You'll love it. Chimpanzee riding on a Segway.
I don't have a particular place that I would necessarily say that I'm dying to go. I mean, I
I want to
think
go to Cuba.
the OV factory would be really cool. I think I think Cuba would probably be pretty cool. I will admit that I'm a little more nervous about the idea of going to Cuba than Honduras, just because, I don't know if I want to go somewhere where they can just lock me up randomly.
They're not going to put you in a Cuban prison because they know they're going to feed you.
I'm going to be hanging. Oh, see, that's funny. They don't have to feed me. See, that's the whole thing.
It's a valid point.
If I'm hanging with you, Lord only knows what kind of incidents I'm going to get into.
When
and the same goes for you, too.
I was like, Corey's liable to get you in a lot more trouble than I am.
I don't know.
I talk a good game. Corey has got a good game.
Now, see, okay, now that we're going to put to the test when we go out to Vegas in July. Because
it's going to be a thing.
Jeff's Mr. Whatever, I don't back down. I'll do anything, So,
have you ever seen me back down?
No, and that's my point. We're gonna put this to a test.
I took on a goddamn raccoon with you, brother.
You backed down from that raccoon.
I did not back down from that raccoon. It was mutual.
Raccoons are fucking scary.
That's what I'm saying. He still has a face. Hence, he backed down.
No.
Because if he would have fought that raccoon, he'd have gotten his face ripped off.
We were kids.
He bailed on me, too.
We were kids.
I mean, that goes back to what you said earlier about I don't have to run fast. I just got to run faster than you.
This raccoon came at us, and I saved him and our friend Esther.
He called it over. He was chittering at it, and it started walking over to us. And then he got up and started pounding his chest and getting ready to fight. So then this raccoon stands up and starts hissing at him.
Yeah.
And that's when I took off for the door.
This is the second time we've told that story.
It is.
It's worth telling again.
We were chasing raccoons through a pasture one time. Moonlit night.
See, you laugh. I've done this.
Brightest moon ever, and all at once, this raccoon turned and stood up and hissed.
Uh-huh.
And I planted one foot and went the other direction.
Yeah.
I was no longer chasing him.
Were you trying to get
chasing me?
Were you trying to get him away from the sweet corn? Because that's why I've done it.
No, we may have been catching the babies to bottle feed them and raise them for pets.
Well, there you go. We had pet raccoons when I was a kid. Yeah. My grandpa had one.
Well, there you go.
I think they frown on that now, but
ooh, yeah.
I mean,
but back in the day,
you can still do it, but
don't get caught.
Right. It's like raising a deer. You can still do it, but don't get caught.
Exactly.
They look funny walking around in the vests at deer season too, trying to pray nobody shoots them.
Yeah, most people lock them in the barns.
Yep. That's a real thing that happens.
That is a real thing.
Okay.
We're farm boys, we know.
I was say I'm City Mouse, so I'm sitting over here. Just
you don't know what, right? We could tell him anything right now, and he's going to buy it. Yeah.
Well, that applies most of the time. Because I have the same problem with him that I have with you, Jeff, where he'll feed me some line of bullshit, and it sounds so outrageous. But the thing is, if I check it, it might be true. So then I have to trust everything. So it's always this constant trust but verify
trust
bullshit
but verify,
with you guys.
exactly.
And sometimes I just don't have the time to verify.
Yeah, so you got to trust.
That's problematic. That's problematic. So, well, this has been another segment of Ask the Boys. Make sure you guys submit your questions to us either through the Contact the Pulpit page on our website, cigarpulpit.com, or make sure you send us a message through Instagram, and we'll be sure to include it in next Tuesday's segment.
There you go.
So I'm almost done with my cigar. Corey is done with his cigar. He's on to another cigar.
Another one.
I actually saved my nub so I could finish out.
Okay.
Yep, I did that.
Yeah. Oh, you need my lighter again.
There's matches there, but the nub will be hard to light with matches.
So Jeff's having to relight his nub here.
I'm relighting my nub.
So yeah, I'm down to the end here, and again,
I smoked mine a lot faster than you two.
2012 Corojo, man, it's a great cigar. It's got that spice, it's got that smoothness to it. I mean, it kicks off a ton of smoke.
I'm to the point I can taste it again after the liquor.
That's good.
Yeah, that was harsh, man. It was good stuff, but yeah, my taste buds took a hit.
That's funny. So as Jeff alluded to earlier, we will be making a trip to Chicago this weekend. We will be going up to Chicago on Friday.
The barrel burners are hooking us up, man.
No, that's next week in Indianapolis.
There's a Chicago one too, isn't there?
No,
I thought they were going to come in.
That's the ash holes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have competing groups. We're not starting again. So anyway, so we will
Nick
be
never
up,
likes to start over.
We will be up in Chicago.
It's trouble, getting it going again. You know what I mean?
Right.
God, Friday, February 21st and Saturday, February 22nd. We are trying to plan out a meet and greet for Saturday. And
3 o'clock?
It is going to be at a different location. We did post something earlier today. However, it is not going to be there.
Oh, okay. I'm completely out of the
I know
loop
you
now.
are, and that's why you just need to sit there and be quiet.
I can't do that.
That's pretty badass. Look at your light.
I know. We sit and we talk about that all the time. There's this, while Nick's looking this up, there's this cool little light with an old-time, lampshade on it. And as we smoke, the smoke will go into the light and then push up through the top of the lampshade, and it just looks so cool.
So Saturday, February 22nd, we'll be doing a meet and greet at the Ultimate Cigar Lounge and Hookah Bar, which is located at 137 East North Avenue in Villa Park, Illinois.
Oh, cool.
We'll be there by 3 o'clock, and we'll hang out. Jeff and I have to be hitting the road probably somewhere around 8 or 9 at the latest.
At the latest.
And, we'll be...
Angel's going to kick our butts.
It would be
We have a
fun.
friend riding with us, so.
But we'll be doing that, and so come on out if you're in the Chicago area and see us then.
I'd say come earlier than later because we may cut out earlier than Nick
Anyway.
wants to.
And then
We got
on
a 5-hour drive.
the following weekend, we'll be out in Indianapolis. That would be Friday, February 28th and Saturday, February 29th. And we'll be out there. We'll find a couple places to go. But then that Saturday evening at 6 p.m., the Barrel Burners are putting on an event at Styx. And so we'll be swinging out over there.
So it's the
and
Ash
hanging out
Holes
there.
in Chicago
It's
and
the
the Barrel Burners at Styx.
Illinois chapter of the Ash Holes in Chicago, and it's the
That's
Barrel
awesome.
Burners in
You're in both groups,
Indianapolis.
are you not?
I am.
Yep.
I am.
I'm not neither.
Jeff's not a joiner.
I'm not either.
That's okay.
It's a lot of time. It's kind
It's
of
like
the
no
B-
time at all.
It's kind of the B&I of cigars. There's
really
a commitment.
No time at all.
And I have cigars. Oh, no.
It's really no time at all.
I did one of those.
Oh, they're a cult, man. The B&Is are a cult.
Yeah.
But so that'll be our next 2 excursions for the 2020 Nick and Gator Traveling Freak Show and Cigar Evangelical Revival.
Stay tuned for the shirts. Towards the end of the year, we're going to put out a shirt with all the
I think
locations.
that would be
we were-
fun, kind of like a concert
yeah.
tour shirt. Yeah, like where we've all been. So anyway, so we've got that. And then what else do we have on the agenda here? Being as how this is a Tuesday episode, it is time for our Tuesday giveaway.
And I got a picture of our first giveaway.
Yep. And I did hear from Calvin Bush.
Way to go, Calvin.
We're good there. So Calvin got the Gator special of a cutter and a lighter because Jeff never has his. So,
Nice.
I figured we'd name it that. So,
It's in the Jeep.
yeah. So,
So
this week.
So you gave his to the list?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, no, Drew Estate sent us a very nice package of all kinds of swag and stuff. And so,
Did we get one of those tracksuits?
No, we didn't get a red tracksuit. I think Dirty Fabian took all those when he left.
Took them with him, yeah.
Yeah. But then you gave away to our first listener, or first giveaway.
Craig Lazenby.
Craig Lazenby. It was a nice tin with like a light, or
It
had an ashtray,
It had
a
a
cigar
really nice
prop.
ashtray, a cigar prop, and then it had a cigar container, like a travel
Oh,
container.
that's right.
Yep.
It did. A little 3.
It was really neat.
Yeah. And then
And I might have even thrown a couple of sticks in because I know Craig personally and hooked him up.
that was random. It was totally
It was
random.
totally random. I had he won't let me see the list because I've told him I'm going to sell the list,
Yeah.
and he won't even let me have access to it.
No. So our listener this
Wait, you've picked one?
I was
We have a winner?
Yeah, we have a winner for this week.
I thought we could let Corey reach in and pull it out of the big drum that we roll.
There's no big drum.
Oh, I'm trying to paint.
I know you're trying to paint
the mental radio picture here.
So
Come on, get on board.
this week's winner has probably one of the most badass names. Leonardo Hercules
Okay then.
has just won, and we're going to put together a nice little gift pack of some stuff. We've got, I know, a ashtray, Drew Estate's ashtray, and a couple other items that we'll be sending his way, courtesy of Drew Estates. So, Leonardo Hercules, make sure you reach out to me sometime before end of day the following Monday. And so this episode will come out on Tuesday, February 18th. So yeah, Leonardo, you have until Monday, the 24th, to get in touch with me. Send me an email at nick@cigarpulpit.com.
Leonardo Hercules.
Leonardo Hercules. And
Okay,
let me
then.
know your shipping address so that we can get this mailed out to you. And if I don't hear from you, well, then this stuff gets put back in the pile and we can go on again. So you have a week to get in touch with me. So
what do we do
make sure you
when the inevitable porch pirates attack and steal one of the packages?
Well, hopefully people aren't having that problem.
If you're going to enter for the contest, make sure you've got one of those Ring doorbells so we can track these people down and beat them senseless.
Lord.
Because I think every porch pirate just sans the law. We just need to go after them. Public examples.
I love that.
Yep.
All right.
I'm saying.
Well, so anyway, and if you want to enter to be a part of our weekly giveaways,
How
all
do they
you
do
have
that,
to do,
Nick?
You were just trampling me tonight, man. All you got to do is go over to cigarpulpit.com.
He gets so easily triggered.
And sign
That's
up.
awesome.
Sign up for our. See, folks, I can't get a word in it. You got to sign up.
Oh,
for,
let's have Corey on, Nick says. It'll be great, he says. And it has been.
We've had fun.
We have had fun.
We've had joy. We've had fun. We've had seasons.
What were you
of the
saying?
sun. Yeah, were you talking about something, Nick?
So, yeah, if you want to sign up, go over to our website, cigarpulpit.com, and sign up for our free newsletter. And once you're on the newsletter list, that's how you're entered to win the prizes. As long as you're on the list, you'll be fine. So, and then
When's that first newsletter coming out there, Biggin?
I told you it's going to be the very beginning of March, and it'll recap February.
You can tell me all day long. I wanted you to tell the listeners.
Did on the last podcast that you don't listen to because you never go back and listen. And you
I
also
always
don't
listen.
listen as I'm talking to you right now.
No, I never listen when we're talking, but I do go
Exactly.
back and listen.
Anyway.
I'm caught up again.
Oh, Lord. So, other items of...
I have two podcasts I listen to. It's Us and The Office Ladies. I find that fascinating.
the behind-the-scenes
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Have you ever listened to that, Corey?
No.
Okay, did you ever watch The Office?
Yes.
So Pam,
The secretary.
Jenna Fisher,
Yeah.
and Angela,
The blonde that was over in accounting.
yeah, they do a podcast, and they're going episode by episode, starting season 1, from the pilot on, and they go on and talk about the behind the scenes things that happen, and it is just fascinating to me to listen to how the sausage was made on The Office. Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
And they've had guests on. They had Dr. Kim on the other day.
Ken Jeong.
Yes,
Yeah.
they had him on, and it was pretty cool because you know what? Somebody invaded their podcast that day.
I heard. I listened
Who was
to
it?
It was Joel McHale.
He was in the next room doing a podcast of his
Why
own.
are we talking about this?
Because I'm hoping they'll talk about us, Jenna.
Not-
You're from St. Louis. Come
not-
on, hook us up.
Not likely.
It could happen.
Unlikely.
Jenna's good people. Angela, I don't know about. She's a little squirrely, but Jenna's good people.
So we have a couple other housekeeping things to get through. So this podcast is sponsored by My Monthly Cigars, which is a premium cigar subscription service. You can get cigars shipped to your house once a month in a box, and they have a couple different sizes. We get the Robusto box, which is 4 cigars for $30.
It's our care package.
And we encourage you guys to, if you get that, you can smoke along with us because we smoke those on 4 episodes throughout the month, the corresponding month on the show. They also have another box, which they call the Presidente box, and that's 8 cigars for $50, and it's just twice the number, or twice the 2 times each of each cigar that's in the Robusto box. So basically, you're getting 2 of each one. So it's a good one for sharing.
Or you can hoard.
Or as Jeff likes to say, you can hoard it. So, and then, if you use offer, you guys have thrown me way the fuck off.
We're just sitting here.
Oh my God, it's like in stereo now. Holy shit. So anyway,
Literally just watching you do your thing.
they
Which seems to be melting down.
it is
Yes.
melting down.
Now
so,
don't forget you did a shot at the beginning of the cast that should be kicking in about now. So just
yeah,
saying.
that could be too. So they, if you use offer code
Of
Pulpit,
pure gasoline, let me point
offer
out.
code Pulpit, PULPIT, when you check out, it either gets you free shipping on your first box or it gets you 20% off any of the items in the store because they do have a few other items. And we always encourage you to go to your brick and mortar.
Amen.
If you try a cigar in the box and you like it, then we encourage you to go to your brick and mortar, check with them, say, do you have this? If you don't have it, can you get it? That sort of thing. But if for some reason they can't, for whatever reason, they do sell those cigars from the box online, so you can purchase them there too.
Now, I'm going to take this opportunity, since Corey's sitting here with us. One of the cigars, and I tried this at your shop when we were out for the Weston Cigar Festival.
Okay.
Tobacco Fest?
Tobacco
Weston
Fest.
Tobacco Festival. We were out there, and we were going to interview Mr.
Manuel Quesada.
Quesada. I can't call him Manuel. Nick can. It's a whole thing.
He told me to call him Manuel, but he never said that to
No,
Jeff.
never did. And I even mentioned it to him, and he ignored me and then smiled.
He smelled the ignorance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, from a great distance, he smelled the ignorance. So, that being said, I got to try the 1974. And I have not been able to find that at a store here in St. Louis, and I want that cigar to show up somewhere so I can go buy it. That was a great stick.
Yes. Very good.
So, hopefully, if that's something you can make happen, I'm looking your direction, my friend.
It's happening.
You like being on the spot?
It's happening. He just said it's happening.
Love it.
It has already happened.
Love it.
Now you just have to find where.
Oh, man. Well, it's time for the tour.
I was going to say, Jeff's taking another tour of St. Louis here.
I've got a pretty good idea of what stores that you rep for, so
Well,
I'm going
all
to start
of them.
checking them off.
Hey,
I call on all of them.
Yep.
Every shop in St. Louis, I call on them.
Well, now I'm going to have to get out the list and start going.
But Dan wanted to make sure you had it.
You the man. Okay.
Ah,
That was a good hint. I like
there
that.
you go. That's good. So, anyway.
Are they
and-
are they there now?
No, first of next week should be there.
Good stuff. Well, I will look that up. I'll make a trip over to Riverman.
Well, there we go. And then finally, as Jeff likes to point out, you can find us on the socials. We're on
Why do you
Instagram
say it like that?
because you say it like that.
Yeah, but there's a little hint of disdain in your voice.
The socials.
The socials.
The
That's
socials.
what Jeff says.
It's all the socials.
The socials.
Sounds like a disease.
I mean,
You
with
guys
Jeff,
were
it-
just in Vegas.
I mean, with Jeff, it could be hit or miss.
You know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Except for herpes, that shit will follow you back. So anyway, we are on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit, as well as at Naked Gator, Nekkid Gator.
That's my page.
And then we have our Facebook page, our Twitter page. We're on YouTube, and you can always find us at cigarpulpit.com.
This has been I always say it's been an effort. This has been a good cast.
It has
I
been a
love
good
having
cast.
Corey on.
Now, the last thing I do want to get into is something that you did just touch
But wait,
on.
there's more?
Corey, can you give a plug for the Weston Tobacco Festival? We've hyped it up a lot. We had a
haven't.
blast out
Everybody
there and
listening
everything.
needs to find a way to
And
go to this.
Seriously, guys, there's tobacco festivals all over the country, and they're the kind of events where you roll up and you get your ticket and you go through and collect your cigars and whatever else and everything. This is not like that.
No.
Yeah, we
This
did,
is a party.
We did a little different layout, and really, we just tried to keep it simple, stupid. Good food, good beer, good cigars
How did you make those baked potatoes? Those things are incredible.
with fire.
Oh, man, those were good. Those were good.
Yeah,
And we got
came
there
out
at the
good.
tail end. Like, we drug our happy asses in right at the tail end of the food. And
It's because we had to swing by Guitar Center to find some AV equipment before we went over there.
Nick forgot a few things.
A few things. So
but we found it. We got it in Kansas City, headed your way. But I mean, the food that was left, and I don't want to say we didn't get food because trust me, we
got
neither
plenty.
one of us missed out on food. But we were there at the tail end, and what should have been just the remains and whatnot. And I mean, it was just incredible. All the food that you had there was so good.
So that's the one thing I love to cook. So I do the cooking for the Tobacco Fest.
you've been making pies.
Yes,
He's been testing different pies.
I like a good
that he's gonna
huckleberry.
make.
I do too.
There you go. Gooseberry too. You ever had a? Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah.
We're farm boys, man. You're missing out.
Oh my!
Have you ever had a gooseberry pie, Nick?
Grandma
I don't
used to
think I
make a
have.
gooseberry pie.
Now, did she do a gooseberry custard like my grandma did, or was it more of a straight gooseberry?
No, it was more of a straight gooseberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love gooseberry.
Yeah.
I've got some gooseberries out at the
Really?
farm. Yeah, I've got I've got 3 bushes that I've got out there.
Nice.
I usually just pick them and eat them. I don't even wait to make a pie. So
Grandma would send us out to pick the gooseberries. She'd get about
yeah,
half.
they're thorny. You were probably
Oh, yeah.
you were probably torn up by the time you're done. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So at this event, obviously you have food. There's music going. Everybody's having a good time
That
drinking,
band was
smoking,
awesome
and
last.
everything. And so you're gonna have 5.
Yeah, we'll have 5 manufacturers there.
Okay.
And so, let's see. And Zeb does most of this stuff.
Yeah.
But Oscar's going to be there. Robert Holt with Southern Draw Cigars is the headliner. Tom Lazuka with CLE is supposed to be there. Manuel Casado will be there. And then there's, I don't know, I'd have to ask Zeb to get the last one.
So, I mean, this is a really great opportunity for you guys to get in a very, comfortable, relaxed setting to meet these manufacturers and talk to them and try out their cigars and everything else.
And Oscar kind of committed. He's going to bring Cicerone with him this next year.
Okay.
Byron, the master blender, is also coming.
Oh, cool.
And
wow.
Alvaro, the head guy in Houston, is coming as well.
So that's like the contingent right there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
going to throw this out because last year we were kind of interlopers and basically gave out hijacked Corey's event and did some recording from there. And you could not have been, and you really didn't know our dumbasses at that point very well, but you could not have been more cordial to us and helped hook us up with these manufacturers. And, we gained a lot of institutional knowledge out there at your festival. It was incredible.
Good.
It was a great time. So how can folks look into this if they want to?
Just call the shop in Weston, Missouri. It's Weston Tobacco. Google it. It'll pop right up. Give Zeb a call at the shop. He'll send your tickets out to you.
What do tickets run?
I think they're No. They're, what is it, 45?
Okay.
Shit, that shows how much I'm paying attention.
I was going to say.
Ask Zeb. Zeb
Okay.
knows.
You've been out of the country, man. Your plate's full.
Yeah, I mean, that's really Zeb's ballpark there.
Zeb's your son.
Yes.
But you also get, they've got this really cool challenge coin that is essentially your ticket into the event, and it is really, really cool. Yeah. And then, like I said,
Yeah,
you're
the
gonna
ticket
get,
alone is like a little keepsake. Yeah,
it really is. Good food. The band. I mentioned this earlier while you guys were starting to talk about something else, but the band was incredible. I don't know if you're having them back or...
We've already rebooked them, and we're booking a second band just so that we have a little more time with music. So.
Yep. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So, well, yeah, folks, definitely look into that. It's a party, and it's the big. It's
October 17th this year.
Okay, I was going to say I thought it was in October. So, October 17th. Look into that. It's a great time of year and everything else. You can go out there and just have a great party.
And it's all inside. So
yeah.
Oh, it's in a tobacco barn.
Yeah,
that's the cool part that I really liked.
Yeah.
So. Now, God willing, and the creek don't rise, you'll get to come out and meet us too. So you need to plan to go to it.
Why? I mean, what does the creek rising have to do with anything?
Well, you may not be able to get there if the creek rises.
Where did he grow up?
I know, right? Corey knew exactly what I meant. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
You've never heard that before, have you?
I haven't. This is the first time I've ever encountered that phrase.
Fair enough.
Okay. So.
I know. So much education we need to do for him.
Anyway. Well, Corey, thank you so much for taking some time out and coming on and talking to us. This was great.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And Jeff, thanks for rolling your ass out of bed.
Well, I'm here for you, brother.
I appreciate it. So, this has been
should people stay smoky now?
Damn it. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick, that's Gator, and that was Corey, and everybody should stay smoky.